very excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Because you know
so excited to be here.
I'm a massive fan of your work, but also you as a person. And we've had the joy of hanging out a little bit. And I could not be happier for you.
Oh, thanks.
That you are right now at the center of the coolest show on television by pretty much universal acclaim. Everyone's been waiting on the second season. It shows up. It was appointment television for my son, my wife, and I. We sat down, loving it. We debate it. It is beautifully made. You're killing it, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you, Conan.
I wish it were me? Yes, I do.
Sure. Sure, I understand.
Do I feel that maybe there was a chance that I'd get that part?
Or it was a mix-up of some sort?
Yeah, I know Stiller called me at one point, and I didn't get the call. I couldn't quite pick it up. But no, I'm.
That's show business.
Yeah. And then he had to go with his second choice.
That's right.
Adam Scott.
That's right.
What the fuck? Well, whatever. You know what? It ended up working out. It is just so artfully done, so beautifully done. So much thought has gone into this. And I watched the opening shot of the second season several times.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not giving anything away, but the opening shot of the second season, you are running down this hallway that just doesn't end.
Yeah.
And there's something about the way it's shot. I don't know what it is. I've watched a lot of film. I've watched a lot of television. And I have never seen anything quite like it. And I can't put my finger on what's happening there.
Yeah.
But it is an absolutely incle piece of filmmaking that's the start of a television show.
Yeah, that's all Ben. And he really, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I listen to the show all the time. Oh. And thanks for saying, Conan, you are one of those people who, as you move through show business, you get to know people that their work, and I'm a fan. You are a fan before you get to know them. You are definitely one of those people. I still can't believe that I actually know you. And I know there are a lot of us who feel that way.
Oh, that's...
so thank you, and thanks for having me.
It may not last.
No. I can already tell it's fading.
Yeah. I'm starting to forget your name now.
That's right. Which I totally expect based on previous experience.
Every time I've seen you out on the street, I usually ask you, "Oh, waiter."
Yes. Can I get some more ice water?
It's a party down confusion.
That's right.
Yeah. I know that Ben takes this really seriously. And it's not just making a TV show. This is a whole other thing.
Yeah. And that's part of what I love about it, is that he's someone who, him, he's thinking about all of it. He's thinking about the whole grid at all times. And for me, that lets me relax, and the rest of the cast as well. And we can just focus on, because if you're worried about but if you're asking me to do this, but is it going to feel ridiculous because that thing's happening and we're going 40 miles an hour? If that guy's right here and I'm reacting this way, and sometimes you say that and the director looks at you and it's clear that they haven't thought about any of this, which is fine too. It's a matter of experience or how different people make different things. But with Ben, he's thinking about the entire thing. He's considered every detail. So we can all just focus on the task at hand.
The sense I get is that Ben is playing three-dimensional chess.
Yes.
And,
and we're playing Connect 4.
Exactly. And I'll ask him a question, you'll be like, do not worry. He's seeing his nine-dimensional chessboard. But it's interesting to me that looking at the whole span of your career, this is quite a different gig.
Yeah.
First of all, I know it took you a while. Talk about paying your dues. You paid your dues for a long time. It took you a long time to find your footing, catch your break. And then it was really in, starting out in like background work. Weren't you doing background work?
Yeah, for a Tia Carrere music video. That was one of my many background
That was
gigs.
you?
Yeah. I know.
You were the best part.
You guys probably all recognized me when I walked in.
Yeah.
Guy with beret, I believe is how they referred to me.
For real?
You were wearing a beret for real?
My own. I can't find it anywhere. I really have looked. It was fall of '93, and I had a beret, and I thought it was great, and I wore it all the time, and I definitely wore it to the filming of the Tia Carrere video. So I would love to try and find it. I don't even know if I appear.
I have
never
to say,
saw it.
I don't know if you guys do this. And you might do it because this used to be your profession. I look at background people sometimes in scenes. And if I don't find the scene particularly riveting, I really do look at the background people.
100%.
And I'm usually impressed.
Yeah.
Like they're in it.
Yeah.
They're both not talking at the same time, even though.
Right.
And then every now and then there's someone who's just too happy about having a cup of coffee.
Yes. Or having a conversation where they're like,
Yes.
just
Take it down a notch.
Yes.
Yeah. Or wearing a beret.
You're wearing a beret.
Anything to get noticed.
Oh, boy.
But, then when your breaks start to come, it's very much ensemble work.
Yeah.
And you are in an ensemble now, but you are the face of the show.
Yeah.
So this is, there must be something kind of comforting about ensemble work.
Yeah.
Clearly, working on something like Party Down, you're just working with these wonderful improvised. What a cast!
It's incredible. Yeah, I'm feeling like you're just ensconced in this and Parks and Rec too, just being part of this crew that Amy was really leading. But yeah, comforting is a perfect word for it. And it's part of why I was so freaked out when Severance first came out a few years ago. It's like suddenly the billboards went up and it was my face around town. And it should have been like this big, happy, monumental moment that I've been waiting for 30 years. But it just freaked me out. And Ben sort of talked me down because he's certainly been through it. Just because at that point, we made the show in a bubble and no one had seen it and we loved it, but had no clue if anyone would like it or if people would just make fun of us. Like, you just don't know at all other than your own barometer. And we thought it was cool, but man, you have zero sense of how it's going to be received. So it could have been this big embarrassing thing. Anyway, when you're kind of out front, it's frightening and then also rewarding when you're doing something that you feel good about.
Yes. I've said this for many years, and I don't think most people would understand it. I think the assumption is if you're working on something cool that's going to be iconic, everyone knows it as they're working on it. And that is not the case. No. And I've always said it takes a lot of very talented people working very hard to make something terrible.
Yeah.
It's why I get very impatient around Oscar season. There are all these reviews of movies, and a lot of them are really brilliant movies, and they'll say, but then they really blew it in that one part.
Right.
And I'll be thinking, do you know how hard it is just to make a movie,
I know.
Let alone a great movie?
Yeah.
But there's that one part in The Brutalist where they kind of miss the mark a little bit.
People become just film historians when Oscar season comes around. They get very, very persnickety. And also all the time it takes. I think that was part of why we were also afraid of it landing with a thud, is that it was so hard to make and took so long that it would have been a bummer. But anything that comes out and doesn't quite work, people were working on it for a few years. It's always
one thing geeking out about Severance, the visuals, the way it's shot, the colors. There's all this thought going into stuff. The machines they use are oddly out of time. They're
cars.
The cars are out of time, which leads to all different kinds of theories. But the choices, directing and creating a lot of the time is about choices, and just everything is just a little off in this weird way that I can't quite put my finger on. And I enjoy that. I find I could watch it, watch it with the sound on, and then you could watch it again with the sound off and just look at the colors and what people are wearing and how things are framed in the shots.
And I think how Ben and Jessica Lee Gagne, the director of photography, and Jeremy, our production designer, and Kat, our props master, I think the way they visually tell the story too, you could watch it with the sound off and get the story too, emotionally, and maybe some of the more kind of mind twisty details wouldn't be there, but you would emotionally get the story. And I think that's really important too, when you can make something where you can turn the sound off. It's like if you listen to your podcast with the sound off, you get you get it.
I'm going to tell you something.
You get a little bit more than if you do listen to it with the sound, right?
We recommend that people, when they're driving, turn the sound off.
Yeah.
And you'll have a completely superior experience.
I recommend you put on a different podcast.
Yeah. But keep the sound off on this one. Concurrently play another one. That's the experience.